There is nothing, only warm primordial blackness. Ever, never, ever. An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it. An awareness creeps up on you. A mass lies hidden in your dead angle, soaking in some lurid acidic sauce. It's bloated and shameful. Ex-love, ex-tenderness. It is foolish of you to resurface to the loss. Do you really? You wouldn't like it if I told you what was back there. Why'd you think you had to bludgeon yourself into oblivion? Yes, there's this giant ball there. And evil apes. And the evil apes are juking it out. You can't even make out it's a ball when you're juking it out. You can't even make out infinitesimally small. Vying for resources. It's just a stupid expression you picked up somewhere. The part of the presentation you want to take. Somewhere in the saw, like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again. It wants to walk the desert. The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, a fiery streak penetrates.
Somehow, you know what it is. A Caprice Kinema motor carry. You hear a jingle. Key, it says whirling in rags on the aluminium keyring. There is a single key on the ring. The number 1 is etched. The whirling in rags is a hostel cafeteria. This fan has 2 chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades. You swoop up and catch the tie. Snap, what you have in your hand is a truly hideous necktie, with 4 or 5 different... The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside. A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right, more likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the... It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. Like the green shoe that's on the hat rack in the corner, which, congratulations, you smashed the window with your own shoe. Now you only have one. If you're lucky, you can still find the other on the balcony outside. The window agrees. Its cracked smile is... A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, was this not the same Elon that founds empires and lays waste to cities? Virile? Probably not, no. Hot water sprays from the faucet's base, and steam covers the mirror. Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there, underneath the soft vapor. As you slowly reach abort, you clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see there, and you will never unbecome it. Behold. You have no idea who this thing is, do you? Whatever it is, at least it's dead now. There's clearly rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that an expression? Please stop. It's horrible. You're scary. Oh my God. You can't stop. It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey? There might have been, 10 years ago. It's little more than a cadaverous spasm now. It belongs in the new, the third decade of the current century. Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne-tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. For Revachol, your city, that meant only one thing. Guillaume la Million. If it doesn't rhyme, you're not pronouncing it right. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music, in an open-air boîte de nuit, somewhere in Revachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit. Then he made the expression. Some 20-odd years. There is a vast ocean of time between right now and the expression. You have some understanding of the near history of disco. The rest is darkness, aside from the useless fact that the motor carriage outside was a caprice canema. The click is used to spur. Everyone loved it. It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne-corked smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return. It's too late. Like an image on film. The expression belongs to...
Hello, officer.
The young woman raises a cigarette. Her eyes are brown and her face is speckled with birthmarks. A silver jumpsuit falls off her like scale armor, sparkling. This is the sparkle of too many nights.
No. Because you're a police officer, sir. I am, yes. Unless you've been feeding us a set of very well-rehearsed lies. You've been here for 3 days. Couldn't say. In truth, so far.
You have no doubt about the drinking. But do you strike yourself as a tight-lipped drunk? She must have heard something. She nods.
There's a mercenary out back. He's been hanged. The body has been there for a week. I didn't mean to overwhelm you with information. You seem a bit... Don't be so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be a police officer. Of course. Be careful, officer. They don't like the police around here.
Something stirs in you as she's about to go. She looks back at you, a light glinting off her eyes.
Yes. The dock workers are pretty cocky. They think they're police enough. At least here on the coast. I can't say about the rest of the city. You're in a hostel, sir. We are in Revachol.
Revachol is the disgraced former capital of the world, divided into zones of control under foreign occupation. Half a century after a failed world revolution.
You sure look like you're from Revachol.
Her accent suggests she is not from a...
It's 51. The current century? Centuries don't have numbers. Civilization has existed for 8,000 years, sir. Yeah? There was the usual ruckus. I couldn't say. It's impossible to hear people speaking from over here. Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious...
Oh, that. Yeah.
Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard. It would appear so. At around a slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music on repeat. Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest... That it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft. Don't be. I was going out later anyway. Then you started screaming and trashed the place. A window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then there was. I think you screamed that I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. Around 4 or 5. Glad to have been of assistance.
The door is closed. This door can only be opened with a key. You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast, oceanic soul. Of course, like a small through a PA system by other people. You should sing the sad small church song from that tape you found. Thought, no, don't sing the happy song. You would need another copy of the tape first, though. The one upstairs is destroyed. Who is mistakenly identified as a cop for his prominent jawline? Yes, sounds likely. You should probably go on stage and pose for a moment when you're done. A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed sea. Everything is cool between you and this guy. He's a big fan. Make some small talk.
No, I'm not the bartender.
He's very animated all of a sudden. This seems like a touchy subject.
I have 3 cafeterias to manage. 3. Sylvie tends the bar here. She just, you know.
His eyes dart from left to right. This man isn't lying.
So now you're a cop. Oh, forget it.
A competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown seabird lies among. Looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used to mount it. Most likely on a. This is the great skua. The seabird is the symbol for the discovery of the Insulindian Isola, the part of the world you are in right now. The small steel tag says as much. The great skua, Stegosaurus skua.
Look, your buddy is over there. Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
He pretends not to hear you. Concentrate. A colorful piece of plastic is dangling on the counter, rolled out of his open hand. You see a blister pack of headache medicine. The man does not mind.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait. Use magnesium to heal your morale if you have morale damage.
It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man. You fumble with the spring-loaded gate of the carabiner like fucking sleigh bells.
Stop finger-fucking him, officer! I'm responsible for these oafs and their stuff. Even Sleepy there. Yes, sure. A criminal.
You gently shake his shoulder, but the worker is in a deep The theme on that pinball machine is a standard clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back and cast out all the profiteers and homosexuals. Basically, imagine a yellow plastic crown with a liquor brand emblazoned on it. The sentiment is called anti-centennial nostalgia.
Hello, sweetie. You shouldn't keep your colleague waiting. Hello, sweet. You should...
A bespectacled man in an as you approach, he narrows his eyes. On the sleeve of his bomber jacket, as well as on its back, are the same enigmatic white rectangles as on your blazer.
Hello, I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57.
You realize he's waiting for your name. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau.
Yes, well...
Not for a moment does he believe that's your real name. He casts it aside as an...
It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday.
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
If you don't mind, we should talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area. It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews? Okay, we'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case. Have you removed the dead body from the tree? Sure, but did you take it down from the tree? So, where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner. We all feel that way sometimes. There is no such thing as a police officer, I'm afraid.
And then, soon after, dead bodies would be dangling.
But first, we have to take it down. I can see you drank last night and the night before, and that you are still drunk now. If you need something for your headache, there is a general store nearby. But as I said, I was sent here to meet a detective from Precinct 41. I suppose you could be impersonating him. You could have gotten the insignia.
Inspectorate General means internal affairs. What he's saying is, he's not from the rat squad and isn't supposed to suspect such things.
No need for derogatory terms. They're only doing their job. Yes, they're not just white rectangles. They bear a halogen. I would ask you to step into the headlights of my motor carriage. But again, it's none of my concern. I just need you to... You mean you don't have a badge? Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to talk to the manager. Then we go out back. After you, officer.
Lieutenant Kitsura.
Yes? What do you want to know? Maybe you can tell me what you do know. Then you are not that far behind, actually. 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the dead. A security guard or worker of some sort hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from... To find him or her is one of our tasks here. For now, all we know is that the tone was muffled, using a device of some sort. The desk could... There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. That's us, the Revachol Citizens Militia. We're the police in this city.
The RCM, or the Revachol Citizen Militia is the police force you and him are part of, a self-organized peace corps of the occupied city of Revachol. The RCM.
That's right. You mean like a brief? There's no reason to. 3 days ago, during that time, the victim had... Okay then. Was there anything else you want? No, it's not a particularly mysterious case. The deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that. I can assure nothing like that will happen. No, something isn't happening, because it's not part of reality.
The gesture resembles an orchestra conduct so desperately mundane. There's something the lieutenant isn't seeing. The universe is too irrational, too morally complex. You should convince him.
I'm afraid you and I are pawns in a pissing you don't know? I assumed you were in on it. Better still than an imbecile cop-off. It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. If you want my take, ask me later. Was there anything else you wanted to know about the case? Good.
Only banal things strike you. At the core, you're a very banal person with a very small soul. One you should be ashamed of. It's no wonder the soft one doesn't want it back. It was right to abandon you.
Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. Binocular? Is that how they do things over at the 41st? No one...
No response. He's having trouble processing it. Believe him.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs? Really? You look fine to me. This psychodrama is...
Clearly, he prefers to think you're malingering. He cannot...
Then you should consider seeking medical attention. You can use the radio in my kinema to call your station's Lazareth. Was there anything else you wanted? What do you want to know? Good. Excuse me? Detective, if I may be frank, you seem to be in a deranged state. You have trouble remembering things. You've misplaced your bag. That's good. Some you time? This is a police investigation, not a journey of self-discovery. You'll still have your evenings to yourself. Please do.
The lieutenant is pretty sure self-care is just a... The man with the unimpressive beard, note...
Mr. Gart, right?
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41... Right. Now, I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene.
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
This sounds like something...
You said you just got here.
What, of Martinez? No. I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes...
But you still know your way around.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here.
I didn't imply that.
He probably means this is where you step in and ask your questions. His face expresses Ask him about the body's location before asking if he killed him. People give up information in the more innocuous questions, which you can...
I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. What are you, crazy? Of course I didn't kill him. Behind this building, there's a courtyard. That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then, to your right, you...
This man means the heavy cavalry of the innocents Franco-Negro, sweeping over the plains and nations of the enemies of mankind. 5th century style. Unified currency and the concept...
Haven't you asked me that already? What is it with you and this woman? She has nothing... Okay, you got me. She went away because of the dead body out back. And because I asked for her number. That's why Sylvie...
Thank you.
Is it? Because I thought you were supposed to be investigating the lynching, not my employer conduct. Good for you. Was there something else?
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real.
As you blow this joint...
Real mature, man. Real mature.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer. You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin. You must forgive me. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but...
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But, oh my. You know where we are, right? That's right. In a hostel called the Whirling in Rags, to be precise. Yes, great. See? We're getting somewhere. What else do you know about our city of splendor? Tattered as she may be. The new disco dancing. It seems like a lifetime ago. Much has changed, but it is still the most beautiful city in the world. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes? There. The year is 51.
She looks flustered. The lieutenant... I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be...
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government? Actually, we are not. You could say that about almost any other nation, but not Revachol. Try it one more time, officer. What mode of government? Oh, sweetie. It's really not. Revachol is a zone of control led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own, and certainly no dictatorship of the proletariat.
But they still have cops.
Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. But we should stop for today, sweetie.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to... You didn't do too well, dear.
A sigh.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no someone more educated.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe?
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
Whatever do you mean? Sequence killers? Oh my.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
Yes, and it seems to me that you do well to stick close to him. He has the look of an upstanding officer of the law, someone you can lean on, and, sweetie, you are looking unsteady. And even if he weren't there, I don't think you'd have much use for me. Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair. Perhaps another time. Of course, dear.